Hello, once again. I hope everyone's doing well. It's Damon from Damon's List. First off, I want to start out basically by giving a shout out to my good friend Chris Ludick, who has a great channel basically on YouTube. Basically, I'm giving him a shout out at CK Ludick. I also want to do some more shout out about more wrestling related channels. So I apologize if I don't do it often. But first and foremost, I always have to do a do a shout out to greatest wrestling podcast for me, The Laps Fan. Always hilarious with JP Sorrow, Jack Encarnacio. Always a shout out to you. You always make me laugh through the tears of laughter and ridiculousness that can be professional wrestling. I also discovered Deadlock in the last week, in the last, in the last 2, 3 months, and John Blood is just so hilarious, as well as Chase. That's Chase, right? CM Pulse. And yeah, most of it might be a lot of laughing, but I really enjoyed laughing there. I think it's very necessary. I mean, as Jack Nicholson's Joker once said, didn't you hear that didn't you sorry, I'm just haven't you ever heard of the healing power of laughter? Now get out of here and think it over. No. But you have this, you have wrestling soup, doing numbers, Mish. I always love it. And you're when you go on a tangent and laugh and humor, I always like it when you do. And although he doesn't do it, Schleg Daddy from NTR. So I wanted to start out with those shout outs. Is there anybody else I forget about wrestling? The other shout outs will be for movies, but today, since we're soon headed to WrestleMania, I thought I should make a WrestleMania related video. And I will be honest, I'm not really pleased about the development of the card right now. So I want to be more positive, and I want to follow up with a video that I've done in the past about my top worst WrestleMania matches of all time. I thought I would do the opposite this time around. I intend today to do basically my top 25 WrestleMania match of all time. And here's a catch for me. Whatever WrestleMania I pick for whatever match I pick, I cannot pick it again. So if there's a tie, it has to be a match from the same show. So I cannot pick a WrestleMania. WrestleMania cannot occupy two spots, only one. So let's start off. Number 25. It's 20 WrestleMania 28, the main event, Rock versus John Cena. I really like that match. I thought as basically this in this today's age of basically spot fest, I thought Rock versus Cena told a better story than what it's supposed to be. It basically reminded me of Rock Hogan. And I could tell because I attended that match in person live. And I was cheering on for The Rock. The Rock was so powerful there, and John Cena was very nauseating at the time. Now it's okay. Now it's getting better, but also we're watching it through nostalgia eyes. How we grew up, basically, or grew with John Cena, basically, uh, during basically the PG era, was nauseating. It was the point of, okay, we was shoved down John Cena day in, day out, down your throat, like it was good medicine, but it's not. I mean, John Cena could lose a title, and of course he'd smile because he knows he gets a title back just because he does a promo. Whereas other people would be mad when they lost a WWE title or world title because they know they might not get it back. They might not get a shot afterwards. So Rock vs. John Cena was very good, was very necessary, and I hate that people now call Rock by his first name, Dwayne, like they know him. It's like, yeah, this Rock did a lot of bad things. The Tooth Fairy, Doom, uh, Red One. But I'm kind of tired of people calling him Dwayne. You don't know him personally. It doesn't make you look cool. It makes you look very edgy, you know? Just call him, The Rock. Like basically, okay, The Rock in this case, okay. I love the match. And here's someone who hated the following rematch. It went down like basically a bad sequel. From Joker to Joker 2. It went from Archer 1 with Dudley Moore to Archer 2 the next year. But The Rock vs. John Cena, I love it. And I was surprised to find out that's the only WrestleMania main event that The Rock actually won until WrestleMania 49 2. but it's the only singles match he ever won. Every time he defended a title at WrestleMania, he always the WWE. Every time he defended or fought for the WWE title at WrestleMania, he always lost. And I felt like it shouldn't be this. He should have won at WrestleMania 16. Honestly, the Backlash 1000 match with Triple H should have been WrestleMania. Austin should have made that special appearance at WrestleMania. If you have Vince trying to turn heel, fine, but it's immediately countered with Austin. But yeah, that's my number 25. Number 24, it's a recent one. It's Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin WrestleMania 38. WrestleMania 38 was to me the definition of a meh WrestleMania. Not bad, not good, not particularly good. There was some good in that card. I mean, Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville made me laugh. Brock Lesnar versus Reigns was boring, and but Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin to me was a great main event. And thankfully, it wasn't Ronda Rousey in the main event and sticking up the joint. No, you have basically Kevin Owens or Stone Cold Steve Austin in a brawl out match, which I felt is a match brawling through the arena. We don't see it that often. It should come back as a main event for a pay-per-view. Nowadays, everybody does 17 finishers, and you're surprised by the 18 finishers that actually finish the match. And I'm thinking myself, back in the day, Jake Roberts with one DDT and that's over. And he had a better comprehension of ringside psychology than you guys. But Kevin Owens, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a great main event. It's like Austin basically got his match with Kevin Owens, and I like the fact that Kevin Owens can finish anybody off with his stunner, but couldn't finish off Austin. But Austin needed only one Stone Cold stunner for it to be finished, and I thought that was great. Besides Noel's bars, so Owens was protected because Stone Cold did deliver basically some chair shots to Kevin Owens. It wasn't a straight up match. And even then, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was Texas. That was a perfect place to do it. Number 23, to me, is last year's WrestleMania as a tie. It's a two triple threat matches. Kind of funny that people don't like it, basically multi people person match. When in my opinion, sometimes triple threat match WrestleMania happens to be, in my opinion, a winning formula. How many great WrestleMania matches happen to be triple threat matches? I mean, you got WrestleMania 16, you got two triple threat matches, and who would have thought that Jericho versus Benoit versus Angle, which is on the list, will be the lesser of the two matches? And even then, that was still something. WrestleMania 16 had a great triple threat match. WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 22 was okay. WrestleMania 24 was eh. WrestleMania 25 was eh. But again, not bad, not horrible. I'm trying to see the other WrestleManias that triple threat. WrestleMania 30 was pretty good. WrestleMania 32 was the best part of the show. WrestleMania 34 was one of the best opening match ever. WrestleMania 35 was the main event of the pay-per-view, but still. WrestleMania 37, a great main event for the 37. So, if anything in its history, WrestleMania happened to kick ass in terms of triple threat matches. Now, I'm reading the card, and basically I'm looking at the card and I'm trying to look if there's a triple threat match anywhere. And if there is, we might be in for a treat. If there was maybe a US title match, but I don't see any triple threat matches. I see fatal four ways, but I don't see triple threats. So, yeah. It seems like there's a good ratio of great triple threat match at WrestleMania, and WrestleMania 41 at two of those. You had Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. And as much as Seth Rollins gets character get on my nerves, I thought it was the right thing to do for Seth Rollins to win. The only person who has not been with Paul Heyman today ended up being paired off with him. CM Punk was protected, and Roman Reigns took the fall. And I thought it was just poetic that 10 years after the heist of the century, where he pinned Roman Reigns and the guy that Paul Heyman accompanied to the match, Seth Rollins did the same thing 10 years later. He pinned Roman Reigns in a triple threat match, also involving somebody else that was brought to the ring by Paul Heyman. So yeah, it was a great event. And Io Sky was Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Honestly, knowing what the rest of the event was, could have been the main event of night two. It was a kick-ass match. The only thing I disliked, I thought Io Sky should have remained world champion. I'm sorry. I like Io Sky, but I felt like you had Rhea Ripley, you had Bianca Belair. Both of them either are undefeated, or in the case of Rhea Ripley, she wins women's titles. She wins a women's title every time she challenged for one. Every time she challenged for a women's title of any kind, she happens to win, which I think she will this year. But I felt like either Rhea or Bianca Belair should have won, and Io Sky should have been the one pin, so you protect the other two. That's my opinion. Number 22 for WrestleMania 14, The Undertaker vs. Kane. People can say whatever they want, but it's like that match was epic. And as much as I complain about people kicking out finishers, in this match, it makes sense. In fact, in this case, not only did it make sense, I encouraged it. I allowed, I not only did this, it adds to the match. Everybody was kicking out the tombstone, and if everybody kicked out of the tombstone, it wouldn't mean anything. But nobody kicked out beforehand, and you think, okay, he kicked out. Then he does a second one, he kicks out again. And he took a flying clothesline from top rope and a third clothesline, a third tombstone, one, two, three, and Kane barely kicks out because Kane was being Michael Myers. So in his character's case, it makes absolute sense. And this match is much better than WrestleMania's 20's match, which was basically just an angle. But I love this match, and it's not brought up enough because I think this match is all Taker's matches. This is one of the one that I feel is one of the most underrated Undertaker matches. And now the next one, WrestleMania 39 was be November 21st. You have the triple threat match. I forgot this one. I nearly forgot about this one, but Gunter versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, kick-ass triple threat match. Again, Gunter kept his title, but looking back, it makes sense that he did. But I just want Sheamus to finally get the IC title before he retires. So it's a great match. The story wasn't really there, but it's a great pure brawl match. So yeah, I like that one. And the day before, you had Usos defending tag titles against Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, in the only WrestleMania main event in which case the tag titles are on the line. And KO and Sami finally get their moment in the sun, finally win a main event. And I really enjoyed this because finally they win a main event. Finally, both of them, because despite being Sami being IC champion and Kevin Owens being Universal champion, they never won in a main event. They finally won a main event at a pay-per-view and at WrestleMania nonetheless. So I love every bit of it. And yeah, that's for the 21st. Number 20 is WrestleMania 40. It's Cody Rhodes as Roman Reigns. That's Jason Solomon, which, by the way, I forgot to give him a shout out for. Said it's basically Endgame, Avengers Endgame of wrestling. And it is. The match by itself, the actual content of the match, if you just focus on holds, it's not special. It's not. It's every bit of the surprise and it makes sense. Everybody who interfered had a reason to do this. Jimmy interfered to stop Jay from interfering, and they cancel each other out by going to the table. So Sikoa appeared, and who comes out but John Cena? The last time you saw John Cena, who did he face? Solo Sikoa, who tried to cripple him with someone's spike, and Cena doesn't get his win back, but gets revenge by doing the attitude adjustment to Solo Sikoa. Then The Rock comes in. The only thing to me that, and I like that the Undertaker come out because it's a concept of WrestleMania, but I just always felt like Undertaker should have canceled out maybe another big tough member of the bloodline. But when it came to Rock, I think we all knew it should have been Stone Cold Steve Austin here. The glass shatter, and not just because it's Stone Cold and The Rock, but because 25 years earlier, boy, we're getting old. But they were the main event of the other Philadelphia WrestleMania. They fought in this very state in the WrestleMania main event. And 25 years later, that would have been apropos if Stone Cold Steve Austin came out to stun The Rock. Doesn't touch Reigns, doesn't touch anybody else, just stuns The Rock, arrives, and leaves. You know? No match, just this. That's the only downgrade I can do. But afterwards, Rhodes finally went in. If Rhodes didn't win it there, what would be the point of continuing with Rhodes? So I really loved it, enjoyed the main event, and I always like that every 10th year of WrestleMania, it's always an underdog or workhorse that is beloved by the fans that happens to win the world title. And I think that's something that needs to continue. Not because it's predictable, they just stop it. It should happen. In fact, you can even do it every 5 years. That number 19, speaking of an underdog workhorse, about Daniel Bryan defending the B title against Kofi Kingston, and Kofi Kingston finally winning to start Kofi Mania. I always enjoy Kofi Kingston. I still do. And as of this, as of this moment, he's not booked anywhere near the WrestleMania card, and it kind of pisses me off. Like you couldn't put a spot for Kofi Kingston on the WrestleMania card. You can't put The Miz in there. Two long-time guys who have proven to be beneficial. Oh, by the way, two former WWE champions. As long as they're active and willing, they should be in the WrestleMania card. If no ifs or buts about it. Kofi could easily be stuck. You can easily push him into the IC title multi-man match card. I'm not expecting him to be the baby title scene, but you could easily put him there since Xavier Woods is out of action. And The Miz, they basically got an angle on SmackDown that the basically Miz and Kit Wilson were supposed to win the tag titles, but because of Dan Allison's interference, they end up being kind of screwed out in the titles. You can do a rematch with them and Motor City Machine Guns, create a triple threat match, which is gonna give basically light the fire under every one of their asses and actually produce a very good match. It's not like Miz doesn't have history with a great triple threat match at WrestleMania. Ooh. But then I digress. Kofi versus Daniel Bryan, I thought was a very great It was a great match. It should have, if there was two nights at WrestleMania, should have main event one of those nights. And it was kind of ironic that Daniel Bryan, 5 years prior, was the leader of the Yes Movement. It was fighting back against everybody would say he was just a B plus player, but 5 years later, he became exactly what he hated. He became basically what Vince McMahon loved a main eventer to be in storyline. He became basically the corporate champion, not just a Blanche champion. He became a corporate champion and called Kofi a B plus player. And I love that basically Kofi won fair and square in all of this. I just hated that the moment he lost the W title, he never got sniffed again. He should have gotten at least two title reigns. But I love that match. I love that moment. Number 18, WrestleMania 19. It's a tie between Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, and Hulk Hogan versus Mr. McMahon. I couldn't pick Austin versus The Rock because honestly, I've seen it better. And on my list, in terms of best matches, I couldn't pick one twice. So some WrestleMania main events that you say, okay, cool, they could have done, you could have basically took the second version of that match. No, only one. Only one I will allow. And Shawn Michaels is Chris Jericho was very good, was like past self versus future versus present self. And I actually liked the finish. I remember back in the day, people were complaining that Jericho didn't win. I said Jericho didn't even lose by being out cold and being pinned. He just got outsmarted with a roll up, and that's fine. And I think it was a scissors roll up. It's like that's the perfect kind of roll up if you can get pinned. You know, it actually made sense. He got outsmarted, got cocky, and he lost. I really love that match. And Hogan versus McMahon, he had no business being that entertaining. It was very good, and Roddy Piper interfering with brought it all back to WrestleMania, brought it all back to WrestleMania 1. So I really enjoyed this. It really took away from the bad taste in my mouth following Triple H and Booker T. That's all I say. The 17th number 17 of WrestleMania 23, The Undertaker versus Batista, tie with the Money in the Bank tree. In a card that also involves Shawn Michaels, you're surprised to see that, quite frankly, Undertaker versus Batista not only exceeded expectation, I think they outclassed Shawn Michaels that night. It was very good, a great big man match. And here's the thing: Undertaker didn't need 17 tombstones; he needed one. It was countered maybe once or twice, but once he hit it, it's over. And the Money in the Bank match, I really liked the match. Just looking back, Mr. Kennedy winning, knowing that nothing happened out of it. I felt like at this point you could have kept Edge winning streak at WrestleMania intact without having Edge win at this point. Number 16, I have WrestleMania 5, Macho Man Randy Savage with Hulk Hogan. It's a feud that basically looking back as a grown man, you could see, you know what? Savage had a lot of great points about Hogan. Not gonna say about anything about the Terry Bollea. I'm saying that about the character. I mean, there's a lot of reason why you could say, hey, Savage had every right to be paranoid about Hogan storyline. It's just the way he expresses paranoia that's problematic. But everything else had a point, and not just about the Elizabeth stuff. But because every time he went out there, Savage couldn't be the spotlight. He had to share with Hogan, who's not even a champion, by the way. Savage basically was undermined every opportunity. The way he wanted to be title at WrestleMania 4, it basically hinted that if Hogan wasn't there, Macho Man was going to go bye-bye, and DiBiase was going to win the title. And everything there, there's part of me feels like Savage could have won. He could have actually won a WWE title match over Hogan at one point. It didn't happen. But it's WrestleMania, so deal with it, suck it up. I don't mind. But eventually, he could have done this. And imagine back in the day if you ever had Hogan versus Savage, who was the champion who won it basically through nefarious means, versus the Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 6. Take my money, please. Anyway, number 15, again another Hogan match is WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior vs. Hulk Hogan. This match had every opportunity to stink, and it didn't. It stunk at Halloween Havoc 1998, but I didn't hear. And I was a guy who was rooting for Hogan, despite the fact that I rent the video, basically. Yeah, I watched it like several years later, and I thought that, hey, Hogan probably won. He's just, no, Hogan lost. But then you watch it, it's like, Warrior it is Ultimate Warrior Splash, and Hogan kicked out. Hogan, though, missed the leg drop. He never hit the leg drop on Warrior, kind of like protecting his finish, saying that if he hit the leg drop, Warrior was going to be done. And he needed a second splash, and Hogan barely kicked out after three. So in that match, it's like Warrior did not truly beat Hogan. He just barely squeaked. He basically eked out the 3 count. So in a way, Hogan protected himself through the whole match. He basically said, yeah, you barely got me in that night. He didn't do a Bret Bulldog where Bret at least gave the dignity of Bulldog of saying, okay, you outsmarted me. You were the better man that night, but not the other times you faced me. He couldn't even do that if you look at this. He's just like, okay, nobody's going to care for you as a champion. That's how he felt looking back. It's Hogan doing everything to say to Hogan himself and basically make sure that the moment he hands the belt out to Warrior, people care, but not as much as they should have had. And even then, it still was a big move. It was still a great moment. Number 14, underrated opener at WrestleMania 34, Seth Rollins versus Miz versus Finn Balor. I dare say that I think it might just be my favorite Seth Rollins match at WrestleMania. Because it wasn't a battle of excess. Like sometimes he would do this stupid ass superplex in the Falcon Arrow move, which completely devalues the superplex. Completely no sell their own back pain that you're going through. And for the person who received a superplex and a Falcon Arrow shouldn't be very, very able to kick out of the 3 count. He should basically be pinned for the 3 count or put his foot on the ropes. But in this case, in that match with Finn Balor and Miz, I really enjoyed that match. And everybody who says the Miz can't work really needs to touch grass because it's like he's very good, he's very athletic, he just does what he's able to do. So yeah, I really enjoyed that match. Finn Balor, this is his best WrestleMania match to date. And yeah, I really enjoyed that match. I was surprised how good it was. And it belongs in the category of best WrestleMania openers. WrestleMania 8, it's at number 13 there. And as much as Savage vs. Flair was a good match, I'll give that nice edge to Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper, which I never expected would be that good. Roddy Piper is a very good worker, but some matches of his were more brawls and more or less like basically technically beautiful. So this one was a damn good fight. And I like the fact, again, I like the fact that this ending could be interpreted in many ways. Maybe that if Piper decided to cheat, maybe he would have beaten Bret. If he hit him with a ring bell, it would have been over. But you know what? His family is this. Like I can't bear to cheat. I cannot bear to go that low to beat somebody's family. But then he took out the ring bell and goes for the slippers. That I can do. I don't mind too. But at the same time, Bret used technique to beat Piper, and Piper beat himself. He didn't release the hold. So in a great way, it's like he got beat. We could argue that Bret beat a guy who was wrestling not just Bret, but was also wrestling himself. But at the same time, Bret is the only one of the only person to pin Roddy Piper in a WWE pay-per-view. So it was a damn good passing the torch, and I really liked it. Heck, it was so good that in the WrestleMania 10 main event, Jerry Lawler tried to stir up crap, making things that maybe Piper is going to turn heel because he remembers WrestleMania 8. He kept mentioning on commentary and mentioned that Piper was a referee of WrestleMania 1, was a WrestleMania 10 referee because he happened to be the main event of the very first WrestleMania. So I really like that. And it basically come up back into storyline. I really like those little Easter eggs. Number 12, WrestleMania 24. Again, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels and the Money in Bank match 4. I didn't expect CM Punk to win the Money in Bank match. I thought the moment Jericho was out, I thought it was Jericho's win. And it didn't happen. I still maintain that Jericho could have gotten a better spot at WrestleMania after coming back. But lo and behold, I really like that CM Punk started his official ascent to wrestle to main event status there. He didn't get it there, but it started there. And Shawn versus Ric Flair. I mean, what else can I say? And those kind of matches are the reason why I say not every WrestleMania main event should be about a title. Sometimes the match means itself. Ric Flair to retire. The moment it ended should have been basically the highlight package at the end, followed by Ric Flair doing his long walk to the dressing room, and you should have ended that WrestleMania there. Like WrestleMania 26. The moment Shawn went back to his locker room without his theme song, that's how you end it, because nothing can follow. Undertaker versus Edge was very good, but it's like not as good as those matches. But even then, the fact that those three matches say are in the same card says something about the strength of WrestleMania 24, as well as that stage. I might do a video about my best stages, but I'm not promising this one. Number 11, WrestleMania 16, the ladder tag. You're probably surprised, say, hey, Damon, how come you're not mentioning a better WrestleMania for that tag match? Wink, wink. I would, except I'm using that other WrestleMania with another match on it. So I couldn't possibly nominate that match twice, but damn, the TLC, the triangle ladder matches there, triangle tag ladder match with tag titles, damn good. And if it's a car wreck, it's a car wreck that actually makes sense. It's like the moment that the biggest spot of the night, boom, the competitor is taken out. I mean, Devon goes to true tables, you don't see him again for the rest of the match. To me, when you go through that, or you go through a plethora of table, that's it. The competitor should not come back in the match. If you do, whoever put the agent, the producer put piece this match together should be fired because it makes no sense. It's over. There's a spot where it's logical, and even in movies, sometimes you see it's like, okay, the story could end there, but no, it continues. Like there was a perfect ending there. There's a perfect like arc of a character ending there. Leave it. It's okay. And you see it in wrestling sometimes, especially today. The excessive eye spots. But this one, the moment like Devon goes to the table, I think at one point, don't remember by heart, probably should have gone watched it, but it's like Matt Hardy gets pushed to the table from the top of the ladder. He's taken out. I mean, I don't know what Jeff Hardy something similar. Taken out. It was very logical. It's a very logical spot fest if it makes any sense. And I really enjoy that. Now we're going to the top 10. Number 10 would have been much higher if it wasn't for the controversy surrounding it. So WrestleMania 20, the world title main event, and the WWE title match. Those two title match saved that WrestleMania for Medom. It would have been meh if it wasn't for those two matches. First, you have Eddie Guerrero defending against Kurt Angle. And I like the whole storyline that Kurt Angle saying and the SmackDown management team trying to do their darnest to get the title of Eddie Guerrero. But Eddie Guerrero, in the end, knowing that the odds were against him, knowing basically that if he tried playing so fair that Angle was going to cheat, he decided to out-cheat Kurt Angle and made me laugh that he did a small package after he tricked him into thinking he was doing an ankle lock, but Eddie undid the laces from his boots and caught Kurt Angle with a running small package while holding the tights and holding the ropes to win. And that was hilarious, but that's Eddie. I miss Eddie Guerrero. And the main event, Chris Benoit versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Nowadays, Not really a great pleasant treat to see, but at the time that you watched that match, people I was watching it with friends. We were all wondering, yeah, Triple H is probably gonna hit the Pettigrew. Gonna. We want Benoit to win, but we didn't believe he was gonna win. I mean, the moment Sean was backdrop out of the ring, by the way, backdrop, a bleeding mess backdrop of the ring when he tries super kick, it's like, okay, Sean's definitely on the match. Then Triple H tried to peg, it's like, oh, damn it, it's over. And then Benoit counted the crippler crossface. It's like nothing happened, nothing, oh, he's gonna kick out. It's like 2, 3 minutes. I give credit to Triple H. To keep the hold on for several minutes to me was actually better. It's like in the camera works makes you think, okay, will he kick out? Will he kick out? But it's like nothing else happens. And finally he taps. I can't tell you in that house that was basically the tremors in that house because there were sorry, that rumblings in the house because everybody was cheering. Nobody expected that it would end with tap out. But lo and behold, it did. And Benoit Guerrero again in WrestleMania felt like two people say, we've been through a lot of battles. We've been through a lot of trials and tribulations. But today, it just solidified, confirms that everything was worth it. Everything has a reason, character-wise, that is. And yeah, that's an ending that quite frankly was forever tainted, and that's why it's really down there. So WrestleMania, the very following year is WrestleMania 9. Well, sorry, not WrestleMania 9. Sorry, the very night, the night spot is the very next WrestleMania 21st, which I feel is one of the greatest WrestleMania ever, and had only 8 matches, and it fulfilled better its purpose in one night that today's in than basically the WrestleMania that has twice its number in WrestleMania 42. In half the matches, it actually accomplished more of its purpose. Granted, you could have added a US or Cruiserweight title match back then, but apart from that, every match rocked, bar the sumo match and women's title match. But number one in the two things I put on that list, it's Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, the very two best wrestlers, not named apart from Bret Hart, wrestling. And it was a clinic. That was every match. Everything made sense. That match was clinical and aerial fest. And yeah, the very first and the very best Money in the Bank match ever. What else can I say? Those are my two favorite matches from WrestleMania 21st, and they are my ninth favorite matches of all time. Number 8, WrestleMania 18, Rock vs. Hulk Hogan. I was there in person. I saw Hogan Hulk up after thinking it's never going to happen again in a big crowd. I did. The building erupted. Tree boots, tree. Everybody was starting. The three punches, big boot, leg drop. I thought it was gonna be it. It wasn't. He lost, and I didn't mind this. I just felt like when he did the pose down at the end, he should have, I'm a real American. You should have basically where I did have no music. That's it. Everything else was great. Number 7, apropos, it's WrestleMania 7 with the loser leaves town retirement match between Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage. Again, another match that no business being as good as it is, but every little thing, there's a lot of Easter eggs there. Warrior never always ran the ring. It's the first match you see him walk. Bobby Heenan made it a point on on commentary, make it basically turning that little basically bit into something very important. Basically, maybe he's walking because he knows he's not coming back. Maybe he needs to save his energy because he can't afford to lose. Things like that. Those are very important. Savage throwing everything he had in the window. He would use Sherry as a shield, basically hit 5 elbow drops, and Warrior kicked out. Granted, it was overkill, but still, Savage thought maybe he'd be retired by that point. It wasn't. And I love this in the post match angle. That's the first time you see somebody who lost at WrestleMania who felt more of a winner than the actual winner. Tell me, when Warrior lost that match, when Warrior won that match, he left. It's like, I'm relieved I still got my career. Okay, go to that sideline. It's not longer about you. More spotlight on Macho Man Randy Savage. And it was awesome seeing Savage live and Elizabeth come back together. My number 6, talk about Macho Man Randy Savage. How about WrestleMania 3, Macho Man Randy Savage, the ultimate. I'm sorry. Macho Man Randy Savage with Ricky Steamboat. Oh, yeah. So history becomes the Macho Man. Oh yeah. Bad Macho Man impression. I don't care. I love that match. And it's Macho Man Ray Savage is my favorite WB Intercontinental Champion of all time. Of all time. I think the other ones that match up, you got Bret Hart, you got Shawn Michaels, you got Razor Ramon, and you got The Rock in the Nation. Every other champion to me is just fighting to be number six. Because they made it mean something. Macho Man made it mean something. The moment he beat Tito Santana from it, Tito might actually be number six, by the way, in terms of IC champion. And yeah, I thought it was a fantastic match. I don't care if it was rehearsed or not. I don't care. I don't care if a movie basically, if a movie scene basically you rehearsed it 17 times actually is better than the one you improved. Maybe there's a reason why it's better, this one. Not everything, not everybody who's gonna have to do overly scripted is gonna work, but in this case it did. And was perfect. A perfect match. And the way it's ending, it protects everybody. It's like Savage is gonna actually beat the injured Ricky Dragon Steamboat, who actually had in storyline a throat injury, which could explain in anyone's terms why it would be basically dangerous for him to go back to wrestling or for him to actually wrestle, or maybe he's not completely 100%. And he actually showed him basically that he was going to lose the match. He was about to lose the match. The one the Savage hit his elbow, his top rope elbow, the referee was down. He didn't have as much stamina as he used to in the storyline because of a throat injury. And if Savage concentrated the match by itself, he would have won. But he was determined not just to beat Steamboat, he wanted and Steamboat. And this is where George the Animal Steel came in, tried to save George Savage and push Savage while he had the ring bell from the top rope. And I'm not sure if in storyline I mentioned it, but it kind of felt like he felt headfirst the ring bell when he fell, which led to Steamboat. Even then, Savage got up earlier, then Steamboat, but he tried a body slam, and Steamboat reversed in a small package from the 1, 2, 3 because he Savage a bit dazed of this. So it was a perfect ending that protected everybody. And start the send for Savage to go to the main event scene. Now we're going to the top five. WrestleMania 17 is on there. I know people might make a big deal. It's on number one. It's Austin versus The Rock, two-face of generation. And what have been higher, and I've been for the stupid ending. I love the chair shots at the end. I love that. I just don't like the part where Austin shakes hands with Vince and it sticks. I have no problem with them shaking hands for a while and make you linger. Maybe let that moment matter and make you think that maybe they're gonna team up together, and then he stuns at the end. Like shocking the whole crowd. Like basically you made an about heel turn, but you didn't. And Austin is just go back to his crazy 97 face. Like he goes back to being as crazy of a angry face as he was in 1997. So that turns it down. And also because it represents like as much as I love the Alliance Stone Cold, Alliance Stone Cold should happen when Austin's is like on his last leg of his career, you know, and he wasn't then. And you have Angle versus you know whom I mentioned before, a damn clinical match. And anybody who says, "Oh, you can't book WrestleMania last minute," newsflash: Benoit versus Angle was booked on the Raw, the very last Raw before WrestleMania. Like 5, 6 days before WrestleMania, they booked it. Kurt Angle was the WWE champion until No Way Out 2001. Basically, he didn't have a match at WrestleMania until 6 days before WrestleMania, and it happened to be fantastic. You could still do, for example, Io Sky versus Asuka. Oh, it's 6 nights before WrestleMania. You could still add her at that match. You can still have a SmackDown Tag Title match. You can still have a Women's US title match. You can add last minute. And put, like I said, you add Kofi, Miz, to Kit Wilson to WrestleMania. Jeez Louise, like having 16 match, 8 per night is not too much. It's just your division of time is truly horrible. Screw you. That's not doable. And I don't want to hear people say, well, you're not a booker. It's like, who cares if you're not a booker or not? If every one of your matches are 17 minutes or 30 minutes, they don't distinguish each other from each other. They can be distinguished. A great match that's 30 minutes is also a great match because no other match was 30 minutes on that show. If every match was 30 minutes, If Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules was 30 minutes at WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 3, sorry, compare basically this and the Savage versus Steamboat same night, and you have Hillbilly Jim versus Hillbilly Jim, uh, Little Beaver, I think, Little Beaver, and the Icy Kid. Sorry if I mispronounce this. The Icy Kid, the Icy Kid versus Lord Littlebrook, King Kong Bundy, and Little Tokyo. If that match was 30 minutes, if every match was 30 minutes, first of all, it would be way too long to be WrestleMania 35. But even then, I don't think people will remember Savage and Steamboat that much as well. Because like it was a great match, but it was a long card, so I don't want to relive it. I don't want to re-see it. That'd be this. So same thing here, same argument there. Not every match needs to be super long. And Benoit vs. Angle was like what, 17 minutes, and it was super well done. Was Austin and Rock was 30 minutes, and he had every right to be. You know, better division of time. Number four. It used to be higher in my list, but Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, the Iron Man match. For as much as Jason Solomon, shout out to you, Jason, might not dislike this, might dislike the match. I love it, and I love it. The reason he doesn't like it, there's no falls. It basically teases you there will be some actual pinfalls because of stipulation, but there isn't. It's basically they're both equal. They both trained. The video, the montage before the vignettes before the match is like both of them trained their asses off for that match, and none of them can be beaten. Where Shawn is basically specializing himself in aerial tactics, and basically he tries to technical work against the technical wrestling Bret the Hitman Hart, but Hart is methodical and technical about it. And I remember when it was a draw at first, it's like I'm thinking, you can't finish a WrestleMania with a draw. My brother said, oh, at least he kept the title. Then Gorilla Monsoon came in because the moment Piper won his match at WrestleMania, he left it. He wasn't the interim president. He went back to Gorilla Monsoon and declared there must be a winner, which is what Piper said in a promo before this. That is to be a winner. And that time he's the boss and says, we're not going to end WrestleMania draw. And it happened, there's sudden death rules. And it wasn't just one, but was two super kicks at the end of the match. The first one, Shawn was out. The second one, he got all of it. Then Shawn actually covered Bret and hooked both legs. And it made sense and it ends there. And the boyhood dream had come true for Shawn Michaels. He won his second Rumble. Anybody complains that he won the title, it's like he had to win now. So yeah, I love that match while it represents. And those two competitors will come back to the top three. In fact, the top three is our basic myriad of matches with those two competitors. Number three, it's a tie, WrestleMania 10. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart and Razor Ramon defend the IC title versus Shawn Michaels in the ladder match WrestleMania. And mind you, it's on the list, but Savage's Crush is still damn underrated than WrestleMania. WrestleMania 10 is a damn good event. This is the reason why it's my favorite WrestleMania of all time. Of all time. Bret vs. Owen, best opener ever, and the better Hart won. The better Hart brother won. Bret said so, so therefore it's a fact. I mean, what else can we say about that match? It was technical wizardry at its best. Everything made sense. Everything was protected. I mean, Owen had Bret in the sharpshooter for like a minute. Bret didn't tap. Bret had Owen at the sharpshooter on Owen for not even 10 seconds. Like protecting saying that Bret Hart's sharpshooter is stronger than Owen's. Owen reached the ropes. Bret Hart went for what was basically his go-to maneuver for a while, the victory roll, which is how he beat Bam Bam Bigelow in the 1993 King of the Ring finals. But Owen outsmarted him, sat down on top of him, and 1, 2, 3, which is how basically his family beat how Bret Hart and Bulldog beat Bret. Bret tries to roll up, the other person sits on top of them, 1, 2, 3. And I like that kind of reversal of roll-ups because it means something. He was bested, but the other person didn't come off to be superior. It just came across as one step ahead. And he just beat him by this move. So they basically are on the same levels. He's not buried. He's basically at the same point. And it was better for Owen to win that match. Because then Bret Hart went on to be, supposedly was his best. It's the best night of his career professionally wise because finally won the WWE title back, lifted up on his shoulders like a babyface he is, and you have Owen at the end saying, "What about me?" Not even tried to shake the hand of his brother because Savage was inviting him back to the ring. Come on, celebrate with your brother. Like even at this stage, the game wasn't associated with other eels. No one was associated with other eels. It was basically trying to say, okay, cool, you beat your brother, you prove your point, and you congratulate your brother. It's not just about you, and he didn't. And I love that finish. I love the finish of WrestleMania. I love the finish of WrestleMania match. Better no win. I also love the Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels ladder match. I mean, one-on-one ladder match can be very tricky. There's a lot of down period, but these two made it work. And I love every bit of it. There's nothing else can say about that WrestleMania match that hasn't been said already. Number two, WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. I've seen WrestleMania 26, the main event. I basically seen it in a closed theater, to see it in a movie theater. I basically saw it. And I still prefer the 35 because it's like Shawn was so desperate to win it any possible way. Whereas the second one, it felt like because the career's on the line, he wants to win, but not by count. I want to win one-on-one pin by pinfall. This one, it's like he's desperate in his hometown, his home state. He wants to win at any time, but he forgot that Undertaker's home state is also Texas. And again, Shawn is the only guy not named Kane that kicked out the tombstone and it made sense. And Undertaker is surprised because Shawn is much, much smaller than him. But he's resilient. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be downed. It takes a second tombstone. And I love how he's getting caught from an attempted moonsault into a tombstone. And he didn't need 7 tombstone. That was enough. I love that match. And of course, number one is WrestleMania. I mean, it's WrestleMania 9, Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez. What do you expect? No, the true number one is WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's a match, and the reason why I put him number one over others, it's like it's a match you don't even need to just to be a wrestling fan to enjoy. Any non-wrestling fans will watch that match and be enthralled by it. Stone Cold never say die attitude. Bret Hart vindicted. Basically, I would say very, very bitter, conceited persona. I really enjoyed the whole bit of the match. Ken Shamrock making sure nobody goes outside the rules. It's a damn good match, marred by the fact that it's not a great WrestleMania, but the thing why it's number one, the quality of the match is not marred by WrestleMania. Sorry. It's just sad that this WrestleMania's quality, you know, WrestleMania's quality mars basically the fact that, hey, you know what? If this Bret vs. Austin would have been a better WrestleMania card, that WrestleMania basically will be seen as a great WrestleMania rather than a bad WrestleMania. And that's the thing. That's the greatest match ever. The two greatest match ever on my list happen to be on pretty bad WrestleManias. That's the thing that's kind of sad. Like my two favorite WrestleMania match of all time happen to be on basically on a card that kind of was bad, and it saves the show. And they're non-titles. So they basically just say either an angle or basically two guys that you know are going to have a great match have a great match. Two people with great history have a great match. Would have thunk. Anyway, that's my list of my favorite WrestleMania match of all time. Of all time. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. And FYI, the reason I didn't do the Q&A video, it's like, please send me more questions. And thank you for Chris. Thank you for Doug, the Metal Freak. And if you want to, you're not limited to one. You can have plenty of questions. Let me know as long as the subject I mentioned below, okay? So I'll come back with it later. Basically, I'm going to make another WrestleMania video. And it's the WrestleMania. It's going to be my top ways that can ruin a WrestleMania, a past WrestleMania, not just current one. And I also would say maybe how I would book this current version of WrestleMania. Not the one I would have done, but how would I book it? So let me know down in the comment what you think. And I'll catch you guys later. See you around, guys.